Good morning. Welcome back to the kitchen. It's actually morning and I decided that I would make quiche. My hens are just laying eggs a lot more than I use, and I'm sharing a bunch of them, but I've got a basket full of eggs, so I'm going to make some quiche this morning. And I've already prepped some stuff on the butcher block that goes in it, but I need to fry me some bacon to go in it, so I'm going to get my bacon going. And I'm going to pre-bake my crust. I'm of course using a bought Pillsbury crust, but I've got some foil in the bottom. I'm going to put some pie weights to keep it from bubbling up. And I'm going to bake it for 10 or 15 minutes at like 400. Y'all can see it's just like little marbles in the bottom. And if I tip it, they're going to fall out and go everywhere. So I'm going to get this in the oven and bake it. This is like, I learned from my Aunt Audrey, when you make a cobbler and you use pie crust, she would put strips in the bottom of her pan and bake it till it got light brown. Then she would put some of her berry filling on top of it, put some more pie crust, and bake that pie crust till it got light brown. That way your crust stays a little bit, it's not like dough. It doesn't soak up everything and be like a piece of dough. So I'm going to pre-bake my crust a little bit, and then I'll be back and we will put the filling in the quiche. Quiche is kind of an open palette for what you put in it. It's just eggs, usually with milk, and some seasoning, and then if you want to put vegetables, if you want to put squash, whatever you want to put in it. I've made this particular recipe and used a can of tuna. For the meat in it, I've used ground beef, not very often, but I have used it. And when I do that, I use taco seasoning in it. But I'm going to use bacon today. I have chopped up a ham, lunch meat ham, and just use that for what I wanted to put in it. And I've used a combination. But I've also put crab in it. Oh my goodness, it's good with crab. But I decided that I didn't need to use crab for this today. I'm going to put some freeze-dried mushrooms in it. They will rehydrate as it cooks. It calls for green onions. I'm using my green onions, but I'm also going to put, I bought some hatch peppers. You know, it's hatch pepper season. And so I bought some hatch peppers, and I went ahead and seeded them, chopped them, and froze a gallon of them. Have a bunch freeze-dried that's smoked, but I didn't want to go look them up. These are just fresh hatch peppers, but I'm going to put some hatch peppers in it. So my quiche is going to have mushrooms, green onions, and hatch peppers, bacon, and then of course the cheese and everything else that goes in it. Okay, as usual, when I cook bacon, I want it crisp. So of course, to crumble it into the quiche, it has to be crisp. So it's getting brown. We'll get there pretty soon. We'll get going. Here's my ingredients. It calls for milk, oregano, flour, my peppers and my green onions, eggs, mushrooms, cheese, and mayonnaise. So we'll get all this in that bowl whisked up and ready to go here in a minute. Okay, while my crust is finishing, I took it out, took the pie weights off, pricked it with a fork, put it back in there for about 8 to 10 minutes. That way I'll have a good, when you cut your quiche, it'll come out and the bottom won't be soggy. So I'm going to whisk up 4 eggs because I'm adding 2 extra. The recipe calls for 2 eggs. Some recipes call for, I don't know how many eggs, but mine, this one that I've used since 1984 calls for 2, but a lot of times I'll add some extras if I have some. I'm getting just about equal amounts of Easter egg and regular eggs, and I just love those colored eggshells in my basket. Look at that. Some the blue-green color and then the tan. I love it. Okay. I want this whisked together pretty good, and then it calls for half a cup of milk. And I don't have regular milk, so I'm using evaporated milk. This is going to be good and rich. And I'm going to whisk that in. Our weather's pretty here. They're saying around the 12th to the 14th we could have something in the Gulf. I hope they're just, you know, talking to hear their head rattle. I need a half cup of mayonnaise, and I use Hellmann's and Duke's, either one. I think this one's actually Duke's. It looks like little pearls in there. I like to whisk it up where it's all mixed really good. You need you need 3 tablespoons of flour. And 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, and that really adds some flavor. It doesn't seem like you're doing much, but don't skip on that. So I'm going to add my green onions. Calls for 1/2 cup. I don't know how many's in there. I chopped up some, and that's what I'm using. And I'm going to put some of my hatch peppers. I don't know how hot they are. This may be a spicy quiche. We'll see. The mushrooms. And I'm using cheddar cheese and a little bit of Italian blend. A lot of quiche you use the Swiss cheese. I just use whatever. Okay, I've got my bacon over here. And I'm just going to break it up in there. I buy that bacon at Costco, the one in the blue that's 4 1-pound packages, and it's usually like, it's gone down to $13. I think it's back up to $16 now, but I like that bacon. It's not too thin and it's not too thick. Just making breakfast, sharing it with y'all. This quiche freezes well, so if you wanted to make it and put portions in the freezer, pull it out and heat it up for your breakfast, it does really well like that. I guess I'll just go ahead and put it all in there. Why not have bacon and eggs? And my crust should just about be ready. So I'm going to get it out and get it over here and get my filling in it. Hang on just a minute and I'll be right back. See, it's not brown because it's still got to cook 40 or 45 minutes with the filling in it. But it's dry enough that it's not going to be mushy when I put my filling in it and cook it. Or my whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'm going to get this in there. You know what I think I'm going to do? I've got some Vidalia onion in the icebox. I'm going to put me some thin slices on the top of this. Just to... Y'all, I love my Cutco knives that Anna and Glenn gave me. And I noticed in the Costco, the new Costco sale thing, they're having the Cutco guys going to be there again. So if y'all want to go to Costco and check them out, they sure are some of the best knives you'll ever cut with. They have a lifetime warranty. You send them back to the company and you get a new one if they get dull or something. I just love them. I had bought a few and she saw me using them and they just blessed me with. And then they sent me a little shortener if I wanted to sharpen my own sometimes. But I hadn't had to do anything but use them. I hope the Lord blesses them real good. I've had several prizes in the mail from Randy and Monica too, and just makes you feel loved. Ooh, I hope those kind of caramelize up the top. That'll be yummy. I'm going to put this in the oven and let it cook for 45 minutes. And then I'll bring it back and show it to you and let it cool just a little bit. And then I'm going to cut it. And I like to eat mine with some salsa on the top. So I'll show y'all my plate before I go to the table and sit down and eat it. Okay, y'all, I got this beautiful dish of food out of the oven, and I'm letting it cool, and I'll cut a piece here in a minute and show y'all how good it tastes. My husband did not like quiche because he didn't like that word. He had some funny quirks. He did not like the word quiche. I wanted to show y'all how pretty it looks. See where I took the slice out? It comes out so well. And I'm fixing to put me some salsa on my slice and show y'all how good it is. I'll be right back. Got it all fixed up with some salsa on it and fixing to taste of it. And this is my homemade salsa, and I have a video on it too. But let me see what my quiche tastes like here. That's just yummy. And I'm fixing to sit down and eat my yummy. But I've made quiche and had it for supper with a salad, crackers, or some garlic bread or something. It's so versatile. But I like it just like this right by itself. So I'm fixing to eat that in a minute. But I want to tell y'all one more time, I went to the store this week, and I don't go very often because I'm pretty well stocked up on stuff. Couldn't believe the prices. Every time I go, things are higher. So I know people on a fixed income are thinking, what in the Lord's name am I going to do? My wages aren't going up and the prices are going up. All I know to tell you is, if they put something on sale and you can buy it, get you a little bit extra because it's not going to get any cheaper. And we got hurricanes and earthquakes and fires. Y'all, get you some stuff ahead. Be a little bit prepared. It may not happen where you're at, but it may affect transportation of getting food to your area. So be ahead on your staple stuff. Stuff that'll sustain you and that you can feed your family. And they'll be satisfied, not grumbling and griping. They will have had something good to eat. You need to do that. And another thing that you can do, in case y'all didn't know it or hadn't heard it or whatever, you can get some of those little solar lights outside. Now the dollar store has some little ones for $1.25, and in darkness any little bitty light is wonderful. Keep them charged up outside, and if your lights go out there and get them and bring them inside. They'll burn about 8 hours. They'll give you some light enough to get through the house. Got some flower pots here and there, just stick them in it, and you'll have a little glow to get you around without having to burn candles and heat the atmosphere. It's just a little tip that comes in handy if your lights go out regularly, or if they go out and they're going to be out for an extended period of time. Recharge them every day while the sun's shining, and then bring them in at night and you'll have some light. I'm trying to find some little tips that'll help all of us, because we don't know what we're looking at. When my lights were off for Hurricane Beryl, they came back on and went back off again, and some of my friends went back off for 2 or 3 days. So you never know when you're going to need that little extra help from here or there. So get you some extra stuff. I don't have very much more to say today. I'm supposed to meet with some folks I graduated high school with. We meet every once in a while, and we're going to have Mexican food about 1 o'clock today. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of them that I hadn't seen in a while. And there's a few of us regulars that meet that we're supposed to have some additions to our group today. So that's going to be fun. The good Lord bless and keep y'all. Watch your back. Stay safe. I might add, in Texas, we stay locked and loaded. You never know what's going on around you. I'll talk to you again real soon right here at the Butcher Block. The Lord bless you.